Bucks here. So they revealed safeties, but more importantly, this video is going to be about the beta feedback. Here are the names in MUT. The big interesting thing is no Minka Fitzpatrick, and no, the number one in regs is Honey Badger, but he isn't on the top 10 list at all, which was strange. So Bayard, like, zone, you need 90 zones. So we'll see if we can boost that up at all. 85 speed, it's kind of close to the top end speed that we see in the game at the moment, which was 86. So a lot of these cards look pretty decently relevant. I'm not going to go ahead and break them down that much. I want to spend most of this video on the feedback. Derwin's a little bit worse than I thought he'd be. Simmons here, yeah, they're all pretty mid because they don't hit 90 threshold on zone coverage. So we'll use these guards for a little bit, I would assume, until like a couple weeks in where we're like fiending for that higher end zone. But the bigger thing, the closed beta feedback for Madden 23. Now, these don't always come in like, maybe it doesn't launch with the game, but sometimes like the day of the game launch. You get like 3 days early access this year if you pre-order it, the All Madden edition. Sometimes it waits like, after that for us to play the actual game. Sometimes we do play like basically the beta on the initial launch, and then they do a day one patch to do all these things. So let's go through the gameplay feedback. And okay, overall, I think EA is doing a much better job this year. I do got to give them praise on that for listening to feedback and kind of like tailoring the game around the community and like what we're hearing. Well, the MUT team is trash, right? Like, we've been asking for some basic quality of life features for a few years. They're like just going off doing their own things, even though they don't play the game. Listen to the people that do, please, and do those things, you morons. So I think the gameplay teams kind of flipped. For a few years, they didn't really listen to a whole lot, and then now they're doing a really good job. So it's kind of cool. This right here, gameplay feedback. Don't drastically change the game. Leave coverage reaction time alone. They say, yeah, sure. They'll fix some bugs, obviously. Overall experience will be as played in closed beta. And I think, like, when they make the game, right, they spend, so many months doing that, making Madden 23. And their biggest mistakes have always been patches to gameplay balance within like the first month of the game. Because like we get the game, we react, like we saw with those safeties, their stats are so bad, or we play regs and like some players are bad. We got to get to know the game quite a bit before we end up being able to like logically or like intelligently say what's actually wrong with it. Obviously bugs are bugs, we find bugs. Those are great first, weeks patch to get those out of the game. So like those problems, great. Squash the bugs right away. Gameplay balance, maybe a month and a half into it is, I think, the ideal time for us to finally realize, yeah, this is kind of what's wrong with it, and maybe take a look at that. So, all right. I am so freaking embarrassed for the community. I'm actually angry. Add referees back to the game is the number 2 upvoted thing. Okay. What the hell is going on? Add referees to the game when there are major glaring gameplay issues? I feel like, okay, I can see it that there's a bunch of freaking casuals that like see it on the field and like, yes, okay, that's something that's obvious. Add it to the game. And it's just, there's like, the playbooks are so basic and haven't changed in 20 freaking years. Why isn't that the number 2 upvoted one, right? That's huge. O-line logic. Where the hell is that? Why isn't that 2, okay? Instead, we got add referees back to the game. Like, this is how we get, like, Creative Fan and some dumb stuff like that. Are you kidding me? Referees to a game that's got major balancing issues? Filthy fucking casuals. Refs is very high on our future roadmap. Well, yeah, because you're listening to goddamn morons. Play awareness. Incredibly good one. I love this one. Okay? 19 fewer votes. We've made a number of changes since global beta to bring more balance to gameplay. These changes will bring more variety to play calling. We also want to hear from your community when the game launches. Let us know about how you feel these changes. And further tuned via Madden 23 update. Logic added so in defensive backs playing linebacker positions that have slow reaction time to the running game. Huh. I wonder, like, if they had a stat in the game that properly worked, that didn't break it, what was it, after Madden 15, 16, that this would just naturally solve itself. Oh, wait, what's that they do? It's called play rec. The thing is, like, God, this game was playing so good for play rec back in, like, 15. I did testing on them, like, wow, play rec actually matters quite a bit. Jack Ham's all over the field because his play rec's so high. DTs, they can read screens if their play recs are really high. And like, I don't know. It's frustrating to see them break things and then they have to like hack it back into place through like these hack arounds. So this should have just been this way the whole time. Instead of us having like Super Saiyan DBs like Isaiah Simmons, who hasn't really shown much in his potential and his flashes. Maybe this year as a nickelback he'll be great. Well, you know, I'm not gonna make a nickelback joke there. I know the internet's all about praising Nickelback nowadays because they're swinging all the way back around on the whole hate train. But anyways, they'll have slower reaction time to the running game. Yeah, I guess it makes sense if they're not playing the position that they're on the field playing, but shouldn't that be the out of position penalty that we accrue, just basically putting them out of position? Like, shouldn't this be built into the foundations of play rec? And then the issues, like, also Mutt team is so dumb about these things. They'll make, like, out of position, free safety Megatron have the best zone coverage and mental stats of any defensive back of all time, completely breaking the reason why we use Megatron at free safety. It's not because he's Ed Reed back there, it's because he's a physical beast. But instead, the morons making ratings don't seem to understand that. So yeah, they gotta hack around it because the rest of their freaking crew fucking sucks at their job. Remove the ability to high route tight ends to a pass block assignment when in a 2-point wide receiver stance. Like, they want to kill Gun Bunch so bad. It's like a Tom and Jerry situation here, but Jerry keeps evading them. Do I think this is going to kill Bunch? No. Do I think it's going to make it worse? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like, and the thing is, like, is this just going to make the game worse? Like, this is cool. Not. Got him Borat style. Like, okay, it's fine, but, like, this is going to affect so many other formations, and, like, how are we going to pick up blitzes, right? We saw it in the beta, like, I talked about one of the best, what should have been one of the most upvoted comments is offensive lineman awareness about blitzes on the edge. A lot of time, blitzes can only be solved by blocking 7, tight end running back, shifting away or two, and identifying a certain thing, you know, do the freaking hokey pokey and hope the blitz gets picked up. So removing a lot of formations' ability to pick up blitzes that Madden 23 might to devolve into, a little frustrating. But people are just gonna move to bunch tight end, right? With a tight end and a 3-point stance. I don't know if bunch tight end will be able to pick up the blocks, but I don't know. Here's the thing: if they, even though we didn't give them feedback for some reason. I tried. Okay, I tried when my beta feedbacks, but even though like this is fine if O-line can pick up DBs on a blitz, right? Like, everybody's like, well, I don't know, man. DBs are really fast. Can offensive linemen block? Like, dog, if DBs on a blitz were the greatest thing ever, why don't NFL teams do it every single play, right? If they could instantly get home like Madden, it's not true. Also, with the reduction and they got rid of nano detection in the beta. This could make even more of a problem because you can always hover with the user then get back because users got improved from 22 to 23 in my beta testing. So it's a situation we have in our hands right now that the game might develop. This is like the reason why Madden sucks is the biggest thing every year, right? And that's the thing we got to think about, okay? And the biggest reason why Madden 23 can suck will be O-line blocking, them missing their assignments right in front of their face over and over and over again. We talk about DB logic, and up here, they talked about, like, you know, leave coverage, reaction time alone, and, like, they're almost psychic at times. They're reacting so crazy. But there has been some bugs they fixed and stuff, so that's probably something like DB's back being turned. But, like, we talk about these things and, like, awareness and stuff. Like, it's just... That right there is my number one concern about Madden 23. O-line. A close number 2 would be playbooks. Adjusted the corner route and bunch formation, the corner hot route in hot route master and slot apprentice abilities to align with the other corner routes throughout the playbooks. Now, there's nothing wrong with corner routes throughout playbooks being different. That provides a little variety. And obviously, some corner routes are better than others, getting to different types of parts of the field. But having variety in corner routes, like, it's called balance and changing of. Like, I could set my zone depths to 20, and then I'll just run like a 30-yard corner or something, or a 25-yard corner, or 15-yard corner. But if then they set it to that, then I got to run a different corner. I don't know. Like, at a certain point, yeah, the DB needs to be smart. If you're assigned in the zone, You should be able to take care. Like a cloud flat should be able to take a corner route down the sidelines. If I've decided to a specific zone drop, then yeah, corner route should be able to beat it at different depths. It just makes sense to me. That's called play counterplay, and this game is all about play counterplay. But yeah, like play awareness. How does adjusting a corner route and bunch formations play into play awareness? Like it feels like more hack arounds almost. I don't understand the corner route, hot route, and hot route master. It's okay. It's powerful. It's overpowered. But with the way the pass rush is, I'm hesitant to nerf much of passing game this year. Made improvements to man coverage, pre-snap alignment versus bunch formation. So man should play a little bit better against bunch. Tight ends are still super powerful against man coverage because they can't get jammed. At least that's what I saw. Maybe they made it so they can get jammed now. Pulling linemen are too slow, too indecisive. Yeah, pulling linemen more explosives through the line of scrimmage. Foundational improvements. Keep out of the speed rating. Slower linemen slow you down. It seems like a buff to the run game, right? So, like, this looks like a buff to the run game. And then linebackers, or safeties at linebacker positions is also a buff to the run game because they're going to slow a reaction time to the run game. Now, we'll see if we got a lot of gap shoots this year. That'll be a thing. But, like, the run game, if we don't have gap shoots, the run game is incredibly powerful, okay? It is really good. So, we'll see if we can get gap shoots. If we get gap shoots, then, like, even slow reacting defensive backs, because people are still going to use defensive backs, right? If you use a linebacker, you're going to have to pay 1 AP to make them jump, because linebackers still weren't jumping during the beta. That could be tuned, of course, since that was like the biggest feedback I saw under Clint's tweet is make linebackers jump. Linebackers could come back to relevance, and that would be okay, right? But like in theory, you're like, oh, this just balances out defensive backs at linebacker. But like in reality, it definitely makes it so the run game got buffed because linebackers are still too slow, except for like end game golden tickets. So it's an interesting thing to say. It's an interesting thing to say. Like the on both sides, this thing, the run got buffed, and then this thing, the run got buffed. So we'll see if powers become overpowered. Megalo. Too many insta sheds. This is not what I'm talking about with O-line AI, but yeah, this was absolutely a good feedback. They actually patched this during the middle of the beta, so that was kind of nice. User interceptions aren't always responsive. Tune in to catch interception in increased range for jumping interceptions. Tune in to significantly decrease situation with the player requesting play ball without seeing a significant animation response. That's 100% a positive thing. If you make a bad decision in this game, you should be punished, right? Like that's like any video game of all time. You jump down the middle of a hole in Mario, and you're like, oh wait, no, he just like bounced off something randomly, and I got it back. Yay, that's fun. Makes sense, right? No, it's bullshit, right? You missed your dodge. You can't get your iframes right on an Elden Ring boss. You should take a hit. All right. Don't be stupid. Don't throw picks. Don't rely on drop picks for your offense. Man coverage fake outs are too frequent. I don't know what this means. I looked at this. Man coverage fake outs are too frequent. Fake outs by man coverage defenders. Add a new logic so the fake outs could be used in a super win situation with the ratings delta hell. The hell does that mean? Are they saying man coverage wasn't good enough? That's the dumbest shit I heard in my life. Man coverage was incredible in the beta. Do people just want to like call their defense and not do anything? Because that's what man coverage is. What? Are they talking like on double moves? Double moves are there to literally be the counter to man coverage. Do you guys not want counterplay in your freaking video game? Do you want like a fighting game of somebody spamming a move and you can't do anything about it? No. It blows my mind here. What the fuck? Dude, people are stupid. EA, can you stop listening to stupid people? That's how your game becomes shit. Too many fumbles. Too many significantly reduced fumble chance of QBs. That's a good one. Too many significantly reduced fumble chance of QBs hit the earlier portion of throw. That's a good one. Too many to reduce fumbles by non-quarterback ball carriers and hit sticks and strip fumbles. I think this one's an okay one. This one's a bad one. I feel like if you run into a hit stick, like I think like if you juke into a hit stick, your fumble chance should be like 50%. If you spin into a hit stick, fumble chance 50%. Right? There needs to be risk reward. Conservative tackle versus hit sticks, and then making a ball carrier versus the hit sticks. What's the point of hit sticks if I'm not gonna have a chance that high at a fumble? Right? What's the risk reward? Like 1 in 1,000? I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm questioning what they did here. No reason. Strip balls are a lot of RNG attempts, and now I know it's harder to get strip ball animations than other ones, but man, I hate seeing somebody juke fully into a non-looking hit stick from Cam Chancellor or Dawkins or some of the meanest motherfuckers of all time, and they're like, huh, smile, especially like quarterbacks and stuff like Derrick Henry last year. I don't know. I think it's a bad one. Oh, I guess not. This is a non-quarterback ball carriers. Yeah, I think if you make a bad decision on offense, you got to be punished. Significant reduction to punch out, okay. AI control defenders during stand-up tackles. You should not fumble during stand-up tackles on competitive game style. It feels awful. Because what happens is you get into this stand-up tackle, and then you almost immediately fumble. And it happened to me multiple times during the beta. And I hope by significant reduction, they mean to 0. 0 by AI-controlled defenders. Not enough hit stick variety. 27 hit stick animation been added for lunch. Good. Mostly exists in animation and updated to make them behave differently. All right, cool. That's good patch note. Wide receivers should win more contested catches and mismatches. This was the dumbest shit I heard in my life, too. Tuning to increase catch rate for wide receiver contention. If this is like a simulation, that's cool. Competitive game mode, logic added include wide receiver physical attributes such as height to play a more significant role in successful contentious catch. Dude, these people have no experience with Madden 15 and before, okay? Madden 22 already had this in the game, and they buffed it. Okay, so you guys got to understand there's a risk-reward benefit to playing offense in this game, right? Driving down the field with like a West Coast style of offense, sometimes like the NFL does a lot of times. It's hard. It's difficult. But they have to do it in the NFL because, it's hard to do the rest of offense, right? Tom Brady style. There's a reason why he's, Tom Brady and not everybody's that way. Because it's hard, okay? The timing of that. So, doing these hard things to score, that's not what really people look for. That's why one-play bombs catch on so much. People just want to be brainless. They just don't want to think we're on the football field, okay? So now, the risk-reward of throwing up one-on-one to whatever Mike Evans late in the year, too tall, whatever, if we get out of positions, like Harold Carmichael back in this, Megatron, that kind of thing. Just throwing it up and like, all right, catch it. And if I'm going to catch it, 40, 50% of the time, face catching, that kind of thing that we had in 15 where you just like maneuver in front of it and catch it and like the DB couldn't react in time. It's not football at that point, okay? All right, it's not fun. People aren't calling different plays. Like all of this, everything above this statement and below is basically useless. Not going to be seen at all if we could just throw it up to the wide receiver, maneuver a little bit, and then they win in the contested catch situation. No. Okay? I understand it happens in real life. But guess what? That's a skill. Do you understand why Megatron was so dominant? Because he could do that to dudes. In this game, holding Y, moving the stick like a little bit on the field, that's not a skill. Okay? It's just literally touching 2 buttons. Press the wide receiver button, press this button, and it's over. Brainless. Stop making Madden brainless. Man, there's some bad ones here. Good ones and bad ones. Skill-based passing can be difficult to understand. That's a good one. I think like showing people how skill-based passing is going to be important because as of right now with low-point passes, I feel like most people will be on Classic. I think Classic's easier to understand. It also actually offers a different throw type that skill-based passing doesn't. Now, we'll see if skill-based passing can kind of, offer other things, hopefully, to be a reason why it should work. But anyways, franchise feedback. I'm not going to go through too much of this. These were a lot of, like, bugs and stuff that, like, got worked out. So that's kind of nice. Salary cap, CPU draft logic, free agency crash, trade tuning, high-profile players and free agents. Yeah, so they're actually putting a lot of effort into franchise. Like, dude, I might actually switch over to, like, freaking franchise content since the Mutt team's been so incompetent for the last 2 years. And they've done absolutely nothing, okay? Rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic is what I said, I think, a couple videos ago. with like, oh, we made it so like sets and you can tab over to the auction house instead of like reorganizing and remaking the auction house into something good like MLB The Show. Or like, you know, some of the features that we've been craving for years, you know, custom audibles saved game to game. Make our formation subs like they have in franchise. I don't know. And it's whatever. Face the franchise and yard feedback. I think the best thing here was customization. More freedom in how they use skill points per each of the available positions. I think that's huge. My two things about the yard and why it sucks is the fact that there isn't enough RPG elements of developing your character, right? Of skills. Why don't we do it like 2K where every single stat is on the screen that we can bump up? It makes no sense to group them. Like EA, like they pay game designers that have no clue how to design games that are fun. Or maybe they design it and they put it out and they just don't play it. And they don't test and go further. People want depth. And then like they have bots on the field in the yard. That literally ruins the yard. The yard sucks because AI is on the field. That's got to be user versus user only, except for when somebody chooses, I want to play against the computer match. It just makes no sense why there's AI on the field in the yard when you do not need it. Look at 2Ks. All right, anyways, that's it for the video. I hope that was okay for you guys. I'm very concerned with some of the changes, as you guys couldn't tell. Concerned we didn't see anything about playbooks and how awful they are. But we'll see how the game launches.